Allie.
Hi, I'm Noah.
You're watching Straight from the Hatch.
So this week on Lost, titled The Life and Death of Jeremy Bentham, we finally find out what happens to John Locke, Jeremy Bentham, his alias. So, the idea was, Ben was saying that Locke killed himself, hanged himself.
That's what we all thought.
Which was partially true. Except that, really, Locke wasn't doing the hanging at all. It was Ben is holding the string. It's a really interesting scene.
It defied a lot of our previously held expectations about exactly how much Ben knew and what his relationship to the whole Oceanic Six is.
What exactly happens is Locke is about to hang himself, kind of giving up on trying to convince the Oceanic Six to come back to the island. He's hopeless and everything. And then who stumbles in but Ben? Ben comes in and tries to talk him down to it, and actually does. And then they're starting to talk to each other about how to get people back onto the island. And Locke mentions...
So that one, he had Jin's ring, and he had told him not to bring Sun back. And two...
Eloise Hawking.
Yeah, not a name he should have been dropping, apparently.
Ben immediately strangles him.
So, our theory is that...
Well, Ben is threatened. Ben's been threatened before, and he is threatened once more. Back earlier, last season or 2 seasons ago, Ben shoots Locke after finding out about that Locke knows about Jacob, right? Mm-hmm. Shoots him right in front of the pit of the Dharma Initiative. And that's just more of a leadership thing. We feel that Ben is just completely
They
threatened.
both have, daddy issues, special complexes.
Yeah.
So, essentially, what we think is going on is that, contrary to before, where Ben was saying that Locke was special, I think he was talking out of his ass. I think he wanted to use him, and Ben still thinks of himself as,
God, how many times did they say Locke was special in this episode? 8, 12,
Locke's
22 times?
My favorite thing about Locke is he's always like, I'm not going to help anyone until someone's like, but you're special, John.
You're special.
You're special. And then he's like, all right.
Just because he's special.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
I wish people told me I was special.
As for exactly what's going to happen with Ben... I can't tell you that. I wish I could.
Well, anyway, Locke finds Ben on the island after the plane crashes, so Locke is gonna mess him up.
Yeah, it was the whole, last 5 seconds dramatic scene where I was like, who do you know? Who's in this room? And then, the man who killed me. The other big scene in this show was the scene between Locke and Widmore, who we had all previously thought was the bad guy, and that Ben was actually a good guy, but now I don't even know anymore. Or maybe they're both bad. But, so Locke wakes up in Tunisia, because that's where the island, vomits people out. So, he wakes up, and Widmore has cameras set up, and he's like, and first of all, he had, a New Zealand accent this time, and it was, British before, but let's not even talk about that. So he starts talking to Locke about, he knows he's going to bring everyone back, and he says he's going to help him, and...
Yeah, he's gonna you have the idea that Widmore's the good guy now, and Ben's the bad guy. But it's so hard to do good and bad with these two people because I don't think it really matters what their intentions are. It's just they both want to get to that island, and they both need that island. I think the big thing though is that both Widmore and Ben aren't really in the island because they don't know about. Christian Shepherd and Jacob telling Locke that he has to die, or Richard telling Richard telling Locke that he has to die. Because Widmore just says, you're not going to die on my watch, and Ben won't let him die either.
So clearly, they both have an idea that John is special, but I don't think either Ben or Widmore knows just how important he has become, or that, to the extent that the island has chosen him. Which, I don't know, they say they want to help him, but he did say, Walt said, and I think this was one of the most crucial moments of the episode, he said that you were in a suit on the island and people were trying to kill you. And he ends the episode, he's in a suit, the suit they were going to bury him in.
One of the biggest things about this episode is that Locke is continuously trying to find Helen Norwood, his ex-girlfriend, played by the girl from Futurama who plays...
Smart House.
Yeah. He constantly is trying to find her throughout the entire episode, which makes me want to think that perhaps he was also considering staying in Los Angeles.
Especially after all that chitter-chatter with Kate about staying behind for someone you love.
Right. He honestly was thinking about not going back to the islands, which leads me to believe when Matthew Abaddon takes Locke to the gravestone of Helen Norwood. I believe that's false completely. Whitmore planted that. Whitmore was the same person that put an entire airplane into the ocean full of dead bodies, God knows from where. So, I mean, I think it's pretty easy for him to carve out a big tombstone. And
probably.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely false, so that John just stops thinking about that and gets back on track of trying to get back to the island.
Can we just have a moment of silent meditation for Abaddon? We have some new characters! Yay!
What are their names?
Caesar and Ilana.
So far.
So far.
There's several more that have crashed from Flight 316, introducing almost 25 new characters into the set. Hopefully they'll all be killed very quickly.
Hopefully they'll all be called Nikki and Paulo. And they'll all be great. That gory moment of the week.
Gory moment of the week, ladies and gentlemen. John Locke and his bone.
He doesn't have a leg. He doesn't have a leg, so we're just putting it in his arm.
It's the same effect.
Just think it's the same.
Some Tunisian doctor comes in and...
Yeah. Ooh. I got on my pants.
So there's blood everywhere.
There's blood everywhere.
There's blood everywhere, there's bone everywhere, and he just goes ahead and stabs it back in.
Yeah,
which was pretty awesome. Thank you, Lost Writers, for giving me my gruesome moment of the week. Now I don't have to go out and see My Bloody Valentine in 3D.
Okay, so we have one... we have a lot of lingering questions, but we have one major lingering question.
Major question. Why did the Oceanic 6 in the airplane and only some of them get fwopped? Fwopped, meaning like in the bright light and then wake up in the forest like Jack and Hurley and Kate all did. Why did Ben stay behind? Why did
Locke stay behind?
Locke stay behind. Also, they said
Lapidus
the pilot
and a woman
they both ran off into the
who
jungle.
we think could be Sun, and then still unaccounted for is Saeed. I've no idea where he is.
We have no theories at the moment except that
they had the airplane alcohol and the other passengers didn't.
Unless they were always on the island. Maybe there is no island.
Maybe,
Isn't that like
maybe the island...
blasphemy?
It's not purgatory!
It's totally purgatory!
It's not purgatory.
I thought they were in the Bermuda Triangle for at least 10 years.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, maybe.
Has the show been on 10 years?
No.
Oh, that's a
no,
lie.
It's not. I think that maybe they're in my basement. And I heard noises down there once, but I chickened out and didn't check it out. So, they could be. Alright.
Locke's blood tastes great.
Ew.